You remember when we did that thing with ChatGPT, for those that use ChatGPT, when we asked about tell me the brutal truth about me.
Okay, I think you need to give people context so that they get it.
So if you go on ChatGPT, if you're a user of ChatGPT, like a regular user, such that you have a conversation going on with your ChatGPT, if you go there and you type, tell me the unfiltered or brutal truth about myself, Chat will combine the information that he knows about you and will give you some pointers that might help you, right? And one of the things that came out on I feel like, oh my God, but anyway, it's the Safe Lounge. I need to start practicing this, right? Being honest.
This is good.
One of the things that were mentioned there was that faith I have, pray I pray, fast I fast, but with my faith, there isn't surrender. And the reason why there isn't surrender when it comes to my faith is because of past experiences. It's because of the emotional issues that I have, that have the daddy issues, Welcome to the Safe Lounge. I'm Marilyn.
Welcome back, guys, to the Safe Lounge, and I'm the co-host, Caroline. It's been long, guys.
It's been long, but the thing is, what had happened was... You know what? We were actually planning on being consistent, but then life has been happening. We both had to travel, and then we came back, and a lot has been happening.
Life happened.
So when you see the inconsistencies, it's not because we are not planning ahead of time. We are planning ahead of time, but then life is also happening at the same time. And this is the Safe Lounge, where we can be open with you guys and tell you that, okay, life has been happening, and we expect you to understand us.
We can be transparent. We promised, we didn't deliver, and now we're being transparent on why.
Yes.
It was like that.
And we're sorry. We understand that there's some people who actually look forward to seeing these episodes, and we really do apologize. Then we want to assure you that we are working on it, and we'll continue working on it.
But I had missed being on the Safe Lounge.
Exactly.
And watching
we were
Safe
talking
Lounge.
about it, that we actually also miss just the Safe Lounge.
Yeah.
So I hope we are forgiven. And today we're talking about a topic.
Wait. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe.
Please
comment, like,
do this challenge. Just 3 people. Just refer it to 3 people. Make sure they subscribe. Just 3 of your friends. And when you have done that, feel free to go in the comment section and say, okay, guys, my 3 have subscribed, and we want to see. And we'll come back and give feedback on the
Please
Safe Lounge.
comment. Yes, please comment once your 3 people have subscribed. That would be fun.
Yes. So today we're talking about, so when we did the introductory episode, right, we did mention that we're Christians. Yeah, that's our belief system, right? But at the same time, we are Christians, and we are invested in mental health and wellness in general. And there has always been this, I can't even say dilemma, but there's always been this thing that, can you be a Christian and still be struggling or having mental issues or having suffering from depression, from anxiety, and yet you are a Christian? For me, this is what actually motivated me to want to be on the Safe Lounge, because I have an answer to that. But then I feel like it's something that I struggled with as well, reconciling the two. Like, okay, so why do I have anxiety, and yet I've been a Christian for as long as I know? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. For you, how do you feel about this topic?
I feel like it's a misunderstood topic
Mm-hmm,
within the church, because you see it in the comments that people, pass when it comes to mental health issues. Like you said, you can't be a believing Christian and still suffer from depression, because the joy of the Lord is your strength.
I think that's actually that has been my WhatsApp status for the longest time, right?
Well, the joy of the Lord is my strength.
Yes, but then for me, it's actually affirmation, because I know that, like what I'm saying, like it's not always the case. You can continue.
So things like that, like a depressed Christian, it's an oxymoron. You can't put that in the same sentence. Or things like, if you have anxiety, or you're anxious about something, or you're failing to cope with something, it probably means you don't have enough faith. Because if you had enough faith, you would have overcome it already, or you'd have gone past it, or maybe it's internal. Sometimes it's internal. Like, if I believed enough, then I would have gone past it. I would not still be having anxious thoughts. I would not be depressed about it if I had. So maybe it's an internal issue where you're thinking, I don't have enough faith. My faith is not strong enough. Or, like there's that guy in the Bible who says, I believe. Then immediately after he says, help my unbelief. Because we do have those struggles.
It's happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
It's not like we're living in a perfect world where you're like, okay, I have faith, and there's no voices that are whispering that, what if it doesn't work? What if it goes like this? What if this happens?
Yeah, now that I think about it, there was something that you mentioned some other time when we were talking, and you were saying I struggled to fit in, because we presented, like the church that we go to, there was a presentation of people being perfect.
Yes.
So, there's that presentation of, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
I'm highly blessed and favored of the Lord. That
and
then doesn't
going through things.
That doesn't give people space
feel
to
so
be honest.
good.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who doesn't feel? Yeah.
So that, trying, I don't know if we do it intentionally or if it just happens that whilst we are trying to say the positive, we are also kind of really not revealing how we are truly inside. And we feel, I cannot share this with people, either out of shame or you think people will not be able to handle it.
Yeah. And that moves us to the second point, right? When we now talk about faith and feelings, in the sense that you have your faith, like what you were just mentioning here. You have your faith and you believe, but then you still are feeling some type of way. You still have pain in your heart. You still have, for example, like mental health issues, right? It could be grief. It could be just emotional pain. It could be a heartbreak that you're going through. But you are a woman of faith. You are a person that we know that when you get in your prayer closet, you can go 2 hours praying, but still you have this pain in you that you're dealing with. How do you reconcile the two? But before you answer that, I want to give you it's like a hint. You remember when we did that thing with ChatGPT, for those that use ChatGPT, when we asked about tell me the brutal truth about me.
Okay, I think you need to give people context so that they get it.
So if you go on ChatGPT, if you're a user of ChatGPT, like a regular user, such that you have the conversation going on with your ChatGPT, if you go there and you type, tell me the unfiltered or brutal truth about myself, Chat will combine the information that he knows about you and will give you some pointers that might help you, right? And one of the things that came out on my, I feel like, oh my God, but anyway, it's a safe lounge. I need to start practicing this, right? Being honest.
This is good.
One of the things that were mentioned there was that faith I have, pray I pray, fast I fast, but with my faith, there isn't surrender. And the reason why there isn't surrender when it comes to my faith is because of past experiences. It's because of the emotional issues that I have, that have the daddy issues, you can trust God, but then it's difficult. That's why when we did the daddy issues thing, we also mentioned, right? It's difficult for someone who grew up with an absent father to trust a father in heaven who they do not, So all those issues contribute. So faith I have what shows that I actually have faith is the fact that I still pray. I still do all these things. Like I still serve.
You're into your word. You're
know
fasting.
Everything because I believe it works. That faith I have. But then the surrender part is actually then just letting it go. Like I'm still carrying that burden. Even though I know I've submitted it to God and He's going to take care of it. But until it's taken care of, I'm moving around with it. And then when it's taken care of, it's like, okay, one down. Now, which problems am I moving again with and that's a mental health issue and not a faith issue. That's why I'm like, and we have always been told that you can, we haven't been told, but we believe. I don't think someone has openly said you can pray the pain away. That's what I think. But then it's something that you believe. Like as a Christian, you're like, okay, if I'm going through this, if I pray, it's going to go. If I pray, it's going to end. If I pray, the anxiety is going to stop. If I pray, the depression is going to stop. But that's not always the case. Over to you. I feel like
thank you for sharing, for being open with us, about it. Because I mean, that's something. And I think the problem is we have categories in life. We have the spiritual category, where we come, we deal with our issues. But somehow we have put this in a separate category, in a separate box. And then we have a box for life. Then we have a box for work. Like we want to separate these things. But it's still one person involved in all of these things.
Yes.
And one thing affects the other. So the way you grew up and the way you process things, the way you mentally process things, the way you cope with things, the way you deal with things, it's going to affect how you relate with God and how you think God relates with you, how you view the world, how you relate with people. And so it's all interconnected. I don't know how we managed to, separate these things.
But they were never meant to be separated.
They were never meant to be separated. But I feel like we are slowly getting there to the place where, like we are doing with the Safe Lounge, that we are now integrating these things. But even in church circles, when we have, in our church, we have what we call, faith clinic? Or, when they are now having sermons where they address the emotional person and the things that you're going through. Oh, where they say sometimes
hug
each other and just cry.
And you actually see it's things like that, right? Like when people are just being told to hug each other and you can see people crying from just a hug. And you're like, this is definitely something that's not spiritual. It's emotional. It's like emotional healing being ministered to people.
In a safe spiritual space.
Exactly. And that actually brings to me to the next point, which is also even when you're seeking help, right? When you're seeking this help, your therapist should be a Christian if you're a Christian.
For sure, because go ahead.
Unless you're going to therapy because you're not so sure about where you stand. But then if you're going for therapy because you need help in other areas, which is not religion, then look for someone who has the same belief system. Because from my understanding, right, or from what I have experienced in therapy, is that if my therapist, for example, was not a Christian, the issues that I needed addressed, right, I have seen it. I've seen on social media. I've seen how they address those issues. And if I was going to address them in that way, some of the methods would have resulted in me falling into sin or, Yeah. So I think it's highly important that when you find a therapist who is a Christian, who has the same belief system as you do.
Yes, because we tend to say within the Christian circle, a person is what? Mind, body, and what? Soul.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, when you're dealing with the psyche, you're dealing with mental issues, you're dealing with the soul. Mm-hmm. You're dealing with the person who is involved with your emotions and how you process things, right? So you want that to be within a safe space. You want to entrust your soul to somebody who has entrusted their soul also to Christ.
Yes.
Because that's 100%. The only way you're going to be safe.
Yes. Because if you imagine, I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to.
But you know that I watched Dear Future Wifey. I think it was Dear Future Wifey episode. Someone was talking about their experience in therapy, and she said, I don't remember. The person said, when I went for therapy, my therapist said to me, I am filled with Jesus. And so when I speak to you, unfortunately, or fortunately, when I speak to you, that Jesus is going to come out because he infiltrates every part of me and the way I think.
Therapist that you need as a Christian.
Because also the thing that we are dealing with here is it's infused, right? You can't really separate where the physical ends and where the spiritual ends.
Yes.
Within the mind, it's all infused. No one can really say this is purely physical. This is purely mental. This is purely spiritual. It's all infused.
It's like the issue of spiritual husbands. I was talking about this earlier on. That the issue of having spiritual husbands, 100%, it could be there. It's there, right? But then at the same time, some of the things that when they come out in the church setting or in the Christian circles, it's going to be termed a spiritual husband or someone who is demon possessed or someone who needs to be delivered. Could be coming from upbringing, could be coming from traumas. Like, for example, you could find a girl who just doesn't like men. And automatically in our setting, it's like, they need deliverance. But maybe they were abused as a child. Maybe they went through something as a child and that's still, they haven't healed from it because they never got the help that they needed. They probably tried praying it away, but then it didn't go away. And now they have this personality or they have this character that people keep praying over, but then they also need help. They need to get help.
Yeah, this is where therapy comes in now. where we are saying, yes, deal with the spiritual stuff. We are not saying it's not important.
No,
it's
it
very
needs to be dealt
important.
with. Yeah.
But then say, for example, like what you're saying, right? They grew up in an abusive household, or, something happened in their past. Yes, we have dealt with the spiritual side. But then now you still need to exist within a system where you're surrounded by people and you have to deal with them. How do we get to a point where you're able to deal or, interact with people in a healthy way and not go back to the default setting of how you developed your coping, how to cope with people, or how to deal with, like, how can we say, like, you are mean to, you don't want to be to interact with men because you were abused, right? We now get to a place where you've been prayed over, the forgiveness has taken place, what have you. But for you to get to a place where you unlearn the things that you learned, that you taught yourself that men are unsafe.
Yes.
We now need you to get to a place where you look at the information in front of you and be able to mentally process it in a healthy way, such that you're not judging every man depending on
how
you would.
Yes, because you could have a clean heart. Like we were also talking when we were talking about anxiety, for example, right? You could have a clean heart. You could have a pure heart, right? And you have prayed Psalms 51:10, Lord, create in me a clean heart. And your heart is clean, right? Well, yeah. For all have fallen short. I'm not saying you are perfect. I said you have a clean heart.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because of these experiences, right? Because of childhood experiences, because of previous experiences, you could still have anxiety.
Yeah. So basically, it gives you the tools.
You need those tools in order to handle that with your clean heart, such that you don't end up falling into sin. Actually, it could help. Like what I was saying, that there are some people that when you see, you're like, this person has a nasty attitude. This person, you see them.
They're filled with Christ. They've accepted Christ as their savior, but
it's like, why are they like this? And sometimes it's just that. It's because there's some mental or emotional issues that they haven't dealt with. And the triggers tend to come up because in a church setting, you're meeting people from different walks of life. And someone might trigger you. Like I used to be triggered by a strong man's voice, right? Like if I hear a man shouting, I'll be triggered. And already, once you're triggered, the thing is, once you're triggered, very few people have that self-control to be like, okay, this is just a trigger. And very few people can process it immediately, especially if you've never gotten
that's
out.
why also therapy helps, because it helps you identify that this right is just now a trigger. I'm just being triggered. It doesn't mean that there's an actual threat.
Yes.
And how do I process this and how should I react?
Yeah, because and so now when we meet these people now, you're like, but this person is just mean. Like they will just brush you off. But maybe there's something that you do that triggers them. But because we haven't gotten the help that we need, we will never get to the bottom of it. So anyway, now that has been said, how do we heal? Like as a church, what should we do?
I think
as the body of Christ, as Christians.
Before we get there, I just want to say, getting educated on your mental health, it also gives you language. There are times when you're going through things, and you can't say it because you don't know how to say it. You don't have language for it.
You don't even know what's happening to you. Like there's some things that I've had about me, like after speaking, right, or after saying it out loud, it brought from the therapist and the therapist ChatGPT, and I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly.
This is it. This is how you say it. They're explaining what I'm feeling and what I'm going
I
through.
can explain it to someone else, because sometimes people would just see you and like, why do you do this? Why are you like this? And I can't even explain it to someone. But the moment you get therapy, the moment you seek help, you become better. Yeah, it gives you words. It gives you language. That's the right way to put it across. And the word of God says as well, in the multitude of counselors, you succeed, you will prosper. There is wisdom there. And this wisdom they're talking about, it's not just financial wisdom. It's not just spiritual wisdom. It's also emotional wisdom. And how do you get this emotional wisdom? Through therapy, through people that are getting help from people that are trained to help you. And that's why we also emphasize that they have to be a Christian in order for the values to remain the same. And then you get the twos from someone with the same values, right?